What's up, everybody? I am back at it with another investment guide-ish video. We're joined again by Pistol Pete. Pistol's out.
Yeah.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
What are we saying, boys?
All right, guys, we're coming at you with a hot investment guide.
Nick, you always introduce me and then you never let me say hi or anything, man. Every time this man railroads me.
I know. Moving on. We have things to do. Okay, guys, today we have a Lunar New Year video for you guys. Now, I've done a Lunar New Year video on this channel already. But just in general, Pete, if you want to sum up what happens kind of to the market, what happened last year in your experience, looking at it last year, we don't need to look at anything specific yet. What happened last year to the market during Lunar New Year?
So there's a lot of things that happened during Lunar New Year, and the main driving force behind that is the most obvious promotion that they do two promotions. They do a lot of SBCs that are like these weird chemistry style SBCs. So you'll see a lot of those coming up for Lunar New Year. And then what you're going to see is the biggest promotion, the most noticeable one, is half price packs. So if EA does this year what they did last year and what they've done over the past couple of years, you're going to be able to open up all sorts of packs on the store for half price coins, not half price points. So basically, what's going to happen is everybody's going to throw all their coins into packs, and because of you're going to have a huge supply of cards coming onto the market, and then you're going to have a decrease in buying power. It's actually the perfect storm for the market to take a big dip. Like it's literally not one of those dips where it's sentiment driven, like it's not emotional driven, like, oh my god, the market's about to drop. That's going to be the pre-crash that's coming. It's going to be a real crash because no one's going to have coins and there's going to be a huge supply of cards in the market. A lot of different things that we're going to have for you guys to invest in and talk about when that happens, but we're going to focus on just one specific thing, which is going to be the ones to watch market and how you're going to benefit using Lunar New Year to your advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought the best way to do this, guys, was to see kind of what went down last year with the winter ones to watch. So we've got all these ones to watch cards from FIFA 17 up right now. Last year's batch from the winter. Now, I could have focused on the summer ones from last year, but I think the winter ones are good to focus on because that's a hot thing right now where there's a lot of good players in this new batch of winter cards, and I think people are wondering, how do I invest with these? We're always talking about how to trade with them, but like what to do with them after this weekend. So just to give you guys, before we even look at any graphs, before we even talk about any players, I would just say that you guys want to be probably liquid heading into Lunar New Year. What I mean by liquid is having coins ready to go, not having to worry about your players dropping. None of that. Just having your coins, you're good. If you see some insane deals, then you're able to pick them up because you have your coins. But don't be holding any ones to watches through Lunar New Year. A lot of people were saying earlier on Twitter that that ones to watch cards don't really get affected too much by Lunar New Year. Let's be honest, guys. Everything gets affected by Lunar New Year. There's no way it doesn't. Icons get killed. It's just a thing when you have 50k packs that are going for 25,000 coins. Like 90% of the community just does it. Like it's just a thing that it's so appealing to the eye that it's just something that the community can't hold off on. So, all right. So, guys, we're going to look at ones to watch cards and see what happened to them last year. Now, the ones to watch winter cards last year, there was a whole different timing. Last year, Lunar New Year was on the 28th of January, where this year it's going to be around the 16th of February. And the ones to watch cards came out last year on the 9th. I think the 9th of February, looking at the graphs that I looked at before. So they really didn't get hurt by Lunar New Year because by the time the promotion of Lunar New Year was over, ones to watch cards, I don't even think we're on the game yet of the winter batch. So we're kind of just stuck with, we have to see what happened with these specific winter ones. It's kind of not a great situation because we would love to know what happened with last year's winter ones, comparing them to what could happen with these winter ones. But hey, we're going to do it anyways. And last year's summer ones to watch team had a ton of good players in it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happened to a lot of these players. I think what we should do is maybe start off with like an overpowered player, but it's not like super expensive. I think we'll start off with, let's see what happened with Dembele, and then we can move on and look at maybe Kante, Mane, and then we'll look at a big one like Pogba to see kind of just generally what happened to their prices last year. So Lunar New Year was the 28th of January. So on this graph, we're looking for the 28th of January. Now, I think Dembele was a guy who I think right here was when he got an inform. So this is when he got like a whole new inform. Got super high. Then you can see here, guys, Lunar New Year drops on the 28th. And the real thing that's really interesting to know about ones to watch cards, and I want to point this out to you guys, looking at last year's trends, right? The biggest thing that was interesting for me to see was Lunar New Year promo lasts a week. So it lasted from the 28th to the 5th last year. The cards took the biggest beating on the last day or so of the promotion. So it kind of just, you'll see as we look at this, and what I'll do right now is we'll get this graph to be like a little bit more like specific. So I'll move it to like, we'll do here and we'll go like, so we'll go from November 30th on Ousmane Dembele, right?
Yeah.
And right here you can see that, you know, he's got all the hype going for him, right? And this is the 28th is this date of Lunar New Year. So you can see this. He starts off being like 278K. This is probably when the promo started because EA likes to start promos on Fridays. And you can see, so 278. And this is something that, you know, a lot of people last year, there was no pre-crash for Lunar New Year. People didn't really prepare. Like, they were still in this whole, like, because the thing you guys have to understand is Team of the Year last year, like, I think the promotion ended on, like, the 10th. And that's when the market rebounded like crazy. The market went up like crazy after Team of the Year last year. And then it got killed because as it was rebounding, you could see this insane rebound. I mean, look at Dembele go from after, this is during the Team of the Year promotion, he's at 200. Look at what he goes to after Team of the Year, freaking 275, 280. So then what happens is we have, you know, this whole like lunar thing drops and everybody's like, oh my god, they start opening coins with packs. You can see he goes from like 278 to 250 in days. And I mean, and then the guy just, we're looking at ones to watch is getting battered, right? Mm-hmm. He's like down in the 160s. And then there is a recovery, obviously, after Lunar, guys, because the market just doesn't really get lower than Lunar until August of the game. So that's just one player that we're looking at is Dembele. We can go look at Mane. Now, Mane is a player that's like, it was extremely, extremely in demand last year. And I think the thing was, if we go look at it right now, Pete's, he's over there looking along with us. The thing that was interesting with Mane was he hit a really low point during Lunar New Year. Like, you guys are seeing this, and Pete, you see this right here? It's the same thing as Dembele.
Wild, dude.
So it's the same situation with what's going on there. This is when basically the summer ones also got put back into like SBCs.
Yeah. Like
we have right now. So you have a combination of like Lunar New Year happening, and then you have these guys also in packs. So that is kind of what we have right now. Basically, we're going to have the same supply. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to have these ones to watch SBCs that we currently have right now next week when Lunar's coming out. But the supply is still going to be there. You had it the week before, which means they're on the market.
So last year, sorry to cut you off. So last year, just as a point of reference, because this is something that I'm thinking about as well, is the ratings refresh comes into play here a little bit because Mane was one of those candidates that was up for an upgrade last year. And the Prem League ratings refresh happened last year on the 16th, Friday the 16th of February. That's when you saw the Prem.
Yep.
That's when you saw that ratings refresh. And there's a lot to take into consideration here too, guys, when you do this research on your end, because it's like if there's injuries or there was like a big game, or if he had a bad game or had a big game. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing, and it's like you guys just basically the summary of what we're looking at right now is you want to be out of ones to watch cards during Lunar New Year. You don't want to have them, but you want to have the coins to be able to purchase them. Mane was completely a purchase last year. Look at this. Anywhere between 110 and 150, you could have picked him up that week.
You doubled.
I actually had some. He had a really good game the following week, and he was Team of the Week worthy with a 99 pace, and it took him all the way up to 350K. So if you're seeing standout deals with a lot of these ones to watch cards, I want to look at Paul Pogba because he's a player that rebounded really hard from Team of the Year.
So this is a point that Nick makes all the time on his stream, and I couldn't agree with Nick more. It's all about the EPL. So when you start getting like into the nitty-gritty and putting in all the hard work and figuring out what it is that you want to invest in, man, yeah, ones to watch, I get it. Like Coutinho's never a bad deal. I'm not trying to tell you guys Coutinho's not good, but like it's all EPL driven, man. This whole game is EPL driven. So like Aubameyang might be like the guy that you focus a lot on to see exactly what's going on with him, you know, something like that.
No, completely. And so basically Pogba got absolutely killed by Lunar New Year. Let's look at it. Let's look at Kante. He's a guy I really want to look at. This card was one of the most in-demand cards of the whole last year. So I would compare this guy to probably who's a guy in the new ones, like older new ones to watch. That's
pull those up real quick. I can tell you.
Yeah, super. There's a bunch of them that are like super in demand. I'm trying to think from the summer one, like Mbappe, Neymar, that kind of
obviously,
thing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, you could see Kante drops a lot. Mm-hmm. And he kind of stays at the same price because here the thing is, like, he played really well around Lunar New Year, so he had that, but he dropped down like 100K. So all these guys are just getting killed, basically. And I think that the biggest tip I can give you guys, like even with the lower ones, even the biggest tip, guys, is just get out of these ones to watch cards, please. Like by this weekend, like at latest, right? Just get out by Sunday, have your coins ready to go. And then at that point, you're ready to see what's going on, right? And even if they don't tank a ton, they're still going to go down a little bit. So you're going to have the potential to pick up some deals. I mean, I think the ones you obviously want to look at are the ones that are going to be playing well in the spring, right? So I think the winter ones are good ones. Like, you just want to be looking at the cards, right? Because they're going to hit a low during Lunar New Year. That's what happens. These ones to watch cards do get affected, even though they are live items. You're going to want to look at players who have hype. And I think the thing that you need to think about is probably the Prem ones in the new batch of ones to watch cards, which I'll pull up right now. These ones specifically are new cards, and what happens to new cards in the game, guys? They always have more excitement, right?
Yeah.
You have your group from the old one, like Salah, who gets a ton of hype. You have the Prem ones. You have then Mbappe, Neymar, and then you have a bunch of I think there's a bunch of other Prem ones in the old one. But you're looking at guys in this one that could drop low, like Virgil van Dijk, Mkhitaryan, like just to name a few. Like out of this new one, if there's a few ones that you're gonna pick up during Lunar New Year.
Dude, there's a couple that I'm not even waiting for Lunar New Year. I'm just waiting for the moment that these ones to watch SBCs end, so that they, the threshold for the lower end. For instance, if you just look at the winter ones to watch, like Locadia, Musa, those kinds of players, the ones that I'm looking at, man, are the ones that are either going to get upgrades, they're scheduled for an upgrade, or that on their very next inform, they're going to surpass, like if they would have already had an inform on their previous club, like I believe this Locadia card did, right? So he did 76 rated overall, okay? He has an 81 rated inform. What does his next inform come out to be? Is it 83, or do they go from 81 to 84? So this card's going to go from 76 rated, okay, all the way up to 84 rated. He's going to jump 8 points. His 81 rated inform has 83 pace. So if he ends up with like 85 pace, he's usable, and that guy's a tank. Like, that's a good card. I know I've
used the card. It's great.
It's a great card. So like that's a ones to watch card that I'm for sure going to get in on. Am I going to mass invest? Absolutely not. But I'm gonna for sure own 1 to 3 of that Locadia card. Just hold it. Just have it somewhere stashed away on my club at all times, because the day that man gets an inform, that card's gonna absolutely skyrocket. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is too, a lot of these cards are like in the 30,000-40,000 coins range, because right now you need them to do the SBC. You need to submit a once to watch card. So these guys, the ones on the bench specifically, like Locadia, that's getting like upgrade potential, or the guys that could jump an inform and be a really good card.
Yeah.
These ones are the pickups during Lunar New Year, because they're going to be kind of forgotten about.
Exactly.
Because there's not needed for an SBC anymore. They might even get down to like the 20s, high teens range. And those guys are the players like Locadia, who's playing in the Prem. If those guys get a goal, man, those are the guys that are going to go from 10 to 50K because of just generated hype. Because people know the potential that a guy like Locadia could actually get. I mean, I think there's some of these, dude, that I'm totally looking at getting next.
You know who jumps out on me? Jumps out to me, Nick, is Barkley. Right, because here's the thing. I'm curious to see where he lives at organically when the ones to watch SPCs are not propping him up to 40K where he's at right now. And 81 rated Cam, like if he'll become an 84 if he ever gets one. Once again, guys, this is not me buying 20 Barclays. This is me having one in my club at all times. Like, if I can buy that card for 25K or whatever, like,
yeah,
that's gonna be a nice card. That's a 5-star weak foot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. No, there's a lot of these cards that I like, dude.
I like them a
pickups,
lot.
especially because we know this is the thing, guys. People are going to be so caught up with Lunar New Year that a lot of these bench players from this new ones to watch team, I would stick to the ones. There's 4 that I really like. It's Locadia. It's Barkley, because he is Chelsea, and if he ever gets the light of day at that club and has a decent game, he's English, so EA's going to put him in the team of the week.
Yep.
He'll jump to probably like 80 pace, like high 70s shooting. He'll be a decent cam, and there's not a ton of cams in the Prem, so he's just going to be valued probably at 40 to 50K plus. And if he drops somewhere in the 20 range during Lunar, that means the ones to watch is going to be sitting around probably 50 to 70K after he gets the upgrade. But the other 2 is Delafeu, who already had an amazing debut game.
Yeah.
Jumped to 70K. I had a bunch. Jumped to 70K because he had a goal and everybody thought he was in team of the week. So he's going to be a guy that if he starts to lose value in this next week because of Lunar New Year, pressure of Lunar New Year, or actually during Lunar New Year, I think that's a card you got to get on because he's Spanish playing in the Prem. And then I'm really looking at this Miete card.
That guy was a beast last year, man. Silver beast.
So this guy just got an inform, actually.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, he's got 73 pace, 80 dribbling, 80 defending, 85 physical, 80 passing, playing in Ligue 1. He's got medium-high work rates as a center defensive mid, which is the ideal work rates that you want. If he gets one more inform, like, he's going to be a monster. So those are the cards you want to look at saying, like, okay, do they have some kind of hype because of a nation or a club, or do they have hype because their next upgrade could be insane? So if those guys get down and people forget about them during Lunar New Year, those are going to be buys. I think those ones are the locks for cards you guys need to pick up.
I couldn't agree more, man. I absolutely couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so guys, I think that's basically it. I think we're talking about when to buy players. Just get your coins ready for Lunar New Year, because these cards, these Once to Watch Winter and these Once to Watch Summer cards, are the few group of cards for the rest of the year that will still rise and things like that. There's going to be a rebound after Lunar New Year, and then a lot of the gold cards will progressively drop for the rest of the year. A lot of the informs won't be amazing to invest in anymore. These are the cards that will consistently, regardless, get hype. And I think what's really interesting to know about these cards, and what I want to talk about briefly to end this video, the World Cup is coming in 3 months, and a lot of these players will be playing in the World Cup. So that's just something to keep your eye on. I do believe that EA is going to release another batch of like Road to Russia cards like they did for Path to Glory.
Yeah, for sure.
For live items. But I'm assuming it goes under the rules that basically any Once to Watch card can get upgraded by any special card besides the Team of the Year. So those cards will be probably released, those cards who play well. You know, they do a ton of Man of the Matches for World Cup.
Yep.
So just keep your eye on this. Coutinho plays for Brazil. Costa's playing a little bit for Spain. Lucas, I think, gets in off the bench, maybe for Brazil. Aubameyang totally plays for Gabon, but I don't know if they're in the World Cup. Sanchez, guys, Alexis Sanchez is amazing for Chile.
Yeah, for sure.
The guy is insane. He's going to get multiple Man of the Matches. And then just looking like, I don't know if Walcott really sees the light of day for England.
What about Kyle Walker, I think, over at England? Kyle Walker for summer.
Yeah, so the summer one, totally. Kyle Walker's 100%.
Yeah, let's head over to summer real quick and check that out.
Let's head over to summer really quick to end this video.
Mbappe, maybe Neymar for Brazil.
Mbappe's totally plays on France. Neymar's a monster on Brazil. Dude, surprisingly, I want to talk about this. Lukaku's an animal for Belgium. He scores so many goals on Belgium, so that's another one you want to. Yeah, 100%, dude.
Oh, you know who balls out for their nation, dude? And I don't know if I'm honestly, guys, you guys know I don't watch a lot of football IRL. James Rodriguez. Everybody knows that when he plays for Colombia, that man fucking balls out, dude.
Yeah.
What are we saying?
No,
about that?
I agree. No, totally, dude. And you know what's the really good thing about James right now, which I want you guys to pick up during Lunar New Year for sure? James has been having an amazing spring at Bayern. He's been man of the match like every match for the last 4 matches. He's playing all 90 minutes. He's scoring insane goals. He's scoring assists. It looks like he's finally comfortable at Bayern. And that's really good, guys, because the more informs James gets, the more this card is going to rise. And we all know one common thing is that EA loves James.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
If he has good games, bro, he's in Team of the Week. So yeah, that's basically it. Is there anything you want to add regarding just any last thoughts about this whole idea of Once to Watch during Lunar New Year?
I'm excited about it. I mean, look, guys, this is only one part of the series of Lunar New Year. There's so much more to cover, man. So much more to go in depth in terms of ratings, refresh, informs. Just there's so many coins to be made in Lunar New Year. What I would say, man, is liquid, be liquid. Just to be liquid, and then stay close to Nick. We're in the foot market, man. Stay close to traders in general on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, and be ready. And go into Lunar New Year with a plan, guys. Don't show up and kind of be looking around, asking yourself, what should I be doing? What are we investing in today, guys? If you're asking that question when we're in the middle of Lunar New Year, you've already failed. Just forget it, dude. You should be having an action plan right now to be liquid at some point within the next couple of days, and then literally just be sitting down with all of your coins and calculating, here's my plan of action, 5 things I want to invest in, and then when Lunar New Year hits, man, and really the market's all over the place, you should just go straight to your action plan. You shouldn't even have to really even ask anybody anything. You should be ready to go. You should be telling us what you're investing in. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. Dude, thank you for coming on the video today. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, dude.
Guys, he streams on Twitch. Get involved over there. Link's going to be in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, the video helps. Throw a like. Subscribe. All right, see you guys later. Peace.